In the far north, where coniferous forests stretch to the horizon and snow covers the ground for half the year, Canada retains some of its most pristine natural landscapes. Lands where humans and wild animals coexist, in a delicate line between survival and control. Each year, as winter melts and the forests open to the new spring, an ancient ritual of rebirth begins. Canada's legal black bear hunting season. The Canadian black bear, a symbol of the wild power of the North, was on the brink of extinction last century. But thanks to strict conservation policies and extraordinary adaptability, it has made a strong comeback. Today, more than 600,000 black bears live across provinces from British Columbia to Quebec. But the recovery has also brought a new problem. Too many bears have ventured out of the forests, moving closer to people, destroying crops, raiding farms, and sometimes even threatening the very farmers who live along the forest edges. It's no longer just about conservation, but about finding a balance between keeping nature free and protecting the lives of the people who depend on the land. That's why the Canadian government has a controlled bear hunting season, which runs from early May to late June each year. The goal is not to kill, but to maintain the natural order so that people and bears can coexist without overpowering each other. In the wilds of northern Ontario, the sun only sets at midnight. In the hours-long twilight, professional hunters set out. Not all carry guns. Some still follow the tradition of their ancestors, hunting with bows and arrows, an art that requires patience, discipline, and absolute respect for the life they encounter. Before they hunt, they light candles, bow their heads, and thank the forest, following the ancient Cree prayer. We take only what is necessary and return gratitude. A hunt begins not in the forest, but in days of preparation. They follow bear tracks in the wet mud, observe scratches on tree trunks, pieces of hair caught in oak roots, or overturned logs looking for food. Each sign is a story, and the best reader is the one who understands the language of nature. Bears can smell people from miles away, so silence is the first weapon. Every step must be as light as the wind. Every breath must be in harmony with the rhythm of the forest. In the small hut in the middle of the forest, they waited for hours, even days, and then when their eyes met the pair of dark figures slowly emerging from the trees, their hearts suddenly beat faster. The distance was just over 30 meters, enough for the bow and arrow to become destiny. But the true hunter did not shoot for joy. He shot out of necessity, out of a commitment to the motherland that every life taken had meaning. An arrow pierced the bear's lungs, fast, clean, and humane. There was no screaming, no blood, just the heavy silence of the forest where birth and death always blended together in an eternal cycle. In the west, in the Rocky Mountains, rifle hunters followed a different rhythm. They traveled in all-terrain vehicles, carrying binoculars, spotters, and large-caliber rifles. .300 Winchester Magnum, .338 Lapua, or .30-06 Springfield. Precision machines designed to guarantee a single, swift, and humane shot. At ranges of more than 200 meters, every breath, every heartbeat could determine the outcome. When the scope locked on the target, the world seemed to stop. A boom echoed across the mountainside. The bear collapsed, and for a moment the forest returned to its former peace. After the shot, no one laughed, no one cheered. They walked slowly toward the bear, bowed their heads, and placed their hands on the still warm fur. "Thank you," the hunter whispered, as if speaking to nature itself. The meat would be shared with family and community. The skins are processed into items, and the skulls are returned to wildlife management, evidence of a legal, well-intentioned hunt. But not everyone agrees. Animal rights groups argue that instead of hunting, Canada should adopt birth control measures or relocate bears away from residential areas. They see bear hunting as cruel, a continuation of primitive human instincts. Hunters counter, "We don't kill for show. We maintain a natural order that humans have upset." the debate continues, as endless as the complex relationship between humans and wildlife. In northern Alberta, there are nights when the moon is so bright you can see your breath glistening in the cold air. Bears appear around farms, rummaging through trash cans, breaking down fences, and even attacking livestock. For farmers, protecting property is no longer a choice, it's survival. A farmer named Peter said he had witnessed 3 bears enter a sheep pen in one night, killing more than 20. He said, "If I hadn't been allowed to shoot, I would have lost everything," looking out into the dark woods. But Peter also knows the boundaries. "I only shoot when I have to. I respect them. Every time I pull the trigger, I remember that I am taking a part of nature." It is this mindset, hunt ethically, kill respectfully, that helps Canada maintain a sustainable hunting culture. Environment and Resources Canada estimates that about 20,000 bears are legally hunted each year, while the population remains stable. Because hunting is only licensed by area, has age limits, and is closely monitored through an electronic registration system. No one is allowed to kill a mother bear with a cub. No one is allowed to hunt at night. And every hunter must complete a course in hunting ethics and gun safety before being issued a tag. As night falls, the flickering flames of a campfire reflect off the melting ice. The hunter sits quietly, looking out into the distance where the forest meets the sky. The howlings of wolves, the hooting of owls, and somewhere the sound of bears echoes, a reminder that the battle between humans and nature is never about winning or losing, but about finding a balance. Because when humans forget that respect, the forest will speak, and the price to pay is always very high. The hunting season ends when the maple leaves turn red on the hillside. The hunters pack up camp, leaving everything as if no one had ever set foot there. No trash, no traces, just a faint smell of smoke and a sense of peace. Here, they are not invaders, but keepers of the fragile bond between humans and nature. And when they leave, the bears are still there, strong, free, and alert. One day, when spring returns, the footsteps of humans will echo in the forest again, not to hunt, but to continue the eternal story of humanity, how to live with nature, not against it.